Good day to everyone. Welcome to the new session in Press Tool Technology. Today we will be discussing about a new chapter, which is acceptance of tools on process capability. That is acceptance of tools on process So to begin with, we need to understand the context at which we will be using the process capability study. In order to take the discussion forward, let us consider you are building a high-speed stamping tool as an example. Will be your normal way of doing things is to you make the design, you make the bill of material, you procure the steel, and you cut all the elements. And during that process, you'll be taking that each and every element to the inspection department. For example, if you are making the top plate, you cut all the holes and slots or whatever it is, and then you will take it to the inspection department. And you measure it and see whether it is to the print and whether it is acceptable or not acceptable. And you do that to all the elements in the tool. And finally, if everything is to print, you will put all the elements together and you complete the tool. For example, you assemble the tool as the die set, and you, for example, this is the punch and maybe the die, so on. Phase 2 is take this to the press shop, to the press, right? And you pass the steel and you make parts, and you get the first part, you get the first off. Suppose if this is the part we are going to make, you get the first off. And then you put the switch in automatic. And what happens here? I already mentioned like this high-speed stamping tool, and you are going to get like 1000 strokes per minute, 1000 parts per minute. So this will keep on spitting parts here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. And in a shift, you are going to make like a 500,000 parts. Now I am going to pose you a question here. During the process of building this tool, you have taken this to the inspection department, and you are able to measure all the elements of the tool to make sure whether it falls to the printed to the designed size, right? Now, in the phase 2, you have taken the this particular tool to the press shop, and you are going to make parts, and that too in millions. And this part is need to be sold to someone, right? How you will you be able to measure this part, every single part? It's not just a matter of like one top plate or a punch or a die that is to be measured. You are getting this in millions. Is it possible? I think it is not humanly possible with all the sophisticated equipment which is available right now. It is impossible to measure every single piece that is coming out of the die before it is sold to the customer. Or on the opposite, on the other hand, if you are the customer, what confidence you will have to buy this part? You won't be able to measure like millions of parts. That's not possible, right? So this is where this comes into picture. Process capability study. To take an example from our real life, you might have experienced this. During the election time, you might have heard or read in the magazines and in the papers, prior to the election date, the media will start predicting who is going to win, who is going to, like this particular candidate from this constituency is going to get this much of votes, and the opposite, his competitor, I mean, his challenger is going to get only this much of votes, and finally this particular party is going to come into power, or maybe this is going to be a hung parliament. So you might be wondering what's going on here. I am from this constituency and these people are saying this man is going to win. Nobody came and asked me though. Nobody came and asked me whom I am going to vote. Then how did they predict this? And you might have noticed this, like 95% of the time, their prediction has come correct. What kind of magic is that? Or like, take another example, like during the monsoon season time, the ministry will say, no more fishing for next, maybe like June, July, August, push it to some other month, because there are only going to be this much of fishes in the sea, like, or there are in the baby fishes, you can't fish it right now. Did somebody really dive into the ocean and count every, like, kingfish or pomfret or anything? No, nobody did that. So this is where there are scientifically proven methods to predict how many fishes are going to be in the sea, or who is going to win the election with how many percentage of votes. So we are going to discuss all the factors that constitute into the calculation of the process capability study.